Today, we'll explore stories of manipulation, betrayal, and murder by the most infamous women in the Bible. We will learn about the crimes they committed and the history behind them. If you find this interesting, please support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel to help spread the word. In third place, as the most wicked woman in the Bible, we have Herodias. Before discussing her actions, it's important to understand what happened with John the Baptist. John the Baptist was a brave and charismatic prophet who started preaching around the Jordan River. He condemned sins and urged people to repent, which gained him many followers due to his powerful message and devoted life in the desert. Tensions rose when John publicly criticized the marriage of Herod Antipas to Herodias. Herod Antipas, the ruler of Galilee and Perea, had divorced his lawful wife to marry Herodias, who had recently divorced her husband Philip, Herod Antipas's brother. This marriage was not just a moral issue, but also a violation of Jewish laws. John the Baptist boldly condemned this unlawful union, pointing out its moral consequences. Herodias, feeling insulted and threatened by John's message, wanted to kill him. However, Herod Antipas initially admired John the Baptist and respected him as a prophet, although he found John's words intriguing. Yet, under political and social pressures and influenced by Herodias, Herod Antipas eventually ordered John's arrest. While in prison, John the Baptist remained a symbol of resistance, staying true to his principles despite adversity. His imprisonment symbolized the conflict between divine morality and human ambitions and marked a turning point in history. Herodias was not satisfied with John's imprisonment alone. She wanted him executed. The climax of Herodias' story occurs during a grand feast hosted by Herod Antipas. Herodias cleverly instructs her daughter, often identified as Salome, to dance and captivate Herod, charming him to the point where he promises to grant her any request. Seeing a great opportunity, Salome, guided by her mother, asks for John the Baptist's head on a platter. Herod, bound by his oath and fearing the guest's reaction, agrees to the request. Thus, John the Baptist, the brave prophet who criticized Herodias and Herod's marriage, is ultimately executed. In second place among the most notorious women in the Bible is Athaliah. Athaliah's story takes place in the power corridors of Judah. She was the daughter of Ahab and Jezebel, with a lineage deeply rooted in the political and spiritual instability of that era. Her son Ahaziah briefly ruled the northern kingdom, but about a year later, both Ahaziah, the ruler of Judah, and Jehoram, the leader of Israel, were killed by Jehu. After her son's death, none of his descendants were old enough to take the throne of Judah. Seeing an opportunity to consolidate her position, Athaliah seized control of the throne, challenging established norms and traditions. Her ambition knew no bounds. Upon gaining power, she saw the royal lineage of David as a threat to her newly acquired position. The Davidic lineage held special significance in Jewish tradition, representing the divine promise of a Messiah descended from David. To secure her reign, Athaliah took drastic measures, ordering the execution of all descendants of David's house who could threaten her rule. This involved a series of violent murders aimed at eliminating any potential competition for her throne. However, her brutal strategy was foiled by Jehoiada, the high priest, who hid Joash, the sole surviving descendant of David, in the temple. This bold action ensured the continuity of the Davidic lineage despite Athaliah's efforts. Later, when Joash reached the appropriate age, Jehoiada orchestrated a plan to crown him king. A public ceremony was held, and Joash, the Davidic descendant, was revealed. The populace, realizing the imminent revolt, became fervent. Athaliah, sensing the uprising, tore her clothes and cried, "Treason! Treason!" However, the people, following Jehoiada and supporting the legitimate restoration of the Davidic lineage, were not deceived by Athaliah's claims. Joash's ascent to the throne was pivotal, and Athaliah was captured outside the temple, taken to the royal palace, and executed. The biblical account in 2 Kings 11:16 records her death, ending her reign marked by intrigue and violence. In first place, as the most ruthless woman in the Bible, is Jezebel. Jezebel, a Phoenician princess, married Ahab, the king of Israel, sealing a political alliance. Her influence extended beyond marriage as she introduced the worship of Baal, a pagan god, to Israel, leading to widespread idolatry. Her marriage to Ahab marked a union of powerful yet negative influence that cast a shadow over the nation. Jezebel was a staunch advocate of Baal worship, encouraging the construction of altars and temples dedicated to this pagan deity, distancing the people of Israel from their traditional faith. Jezebel personified corruption and manipulation, using her influence to promote idolatry and brutality against those who opposed her. She ordered the execution of various prophets of Jehovah, including intense persecution of the prophet Elijah, whose life was threatened by the queen's fury. Additionally, she misused royal power to fund and support hundreds of prophets of Baal, using state resources to promote this foreign religion. One striking passage in the Bible illustrating Jezebel's wickedness is the story of Naboth, a righteous man and owner of a vineyard next to the royal palace. When he refused to sell his property to Ahab, even when offered fair compensation, Jezebel devised a malevolent plan to satisfy the king's desires. She conspired to falsely accuse Naboth of blasphemy against God and the king, using false witnesses. Naboth was condemned and stoned to death based on these fabricated charges. This cruel scheme revealed not only Jezebel's wickedness, but also the moral corruption that permeated Ahab and Jezebel's reign in Israel. Divine justice soon manifested. The prophet Elijah confronted Ahab and Jezebel, announcing divine judgment for Naboth's death and declaring that Jezebel's wickedness would not go unnoticed by God. Elijah proclaimed that dogs would lick her blood in the city of Jezreel. Later, Jezebel's end was as dramatic as her life. After Ahab's death, his son Jehu assumed the throne, driven by a divine mission. He confronted Jezebel, who tried to seduce him with her cunning, but divine justice prevailed. Jezebel was thrown from a window by a king's officer, and her body was devoured by dogs as prophesied by Elijah. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Please leave a comment letting us know which city you are watching this video from, and remember to subscribe to our channel to help spread our work. Hugs and stay with God.